Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Naomi, and let's dream about beauty. In today's video, I have the last part 5 of my eyeshadow palette collection in 2021. So if you're interested in seeing what palettes I have, then just stick around. Alright, so in part 4, we got to the end of the R's, so now we will start with S. This is the Happy Hour palette from Stila. As you can see, it is a very beautiful palette, very luxe packaging. Beautiful cool tone story. Got 4 mattes here, and then the rest of them, these are a combination of topper shades and shimmers. You can see that is a beautiful swatch. This one, not so much. This is a beautiful lilac. But yeah, it seems to me, if I remember, this shade here and this shade here were pretty lackluster. Let's try this blue. Oh yeah, that's a pretty nice blue, all right. So yeah, these are good shimmers in this palette. I don't remember having too many thoughts about the mattes. I do appreciate that the mattes are, you know, there's the neutral mattes here for laying down your transition, something to deepen with. So yeah, this is a very pretty palette and I really like it. This is the Stila Happy Hour palette. Next we have the Stila Velvet Realm Blue eyeshadow palette. This is a gorgeous palette. It is a good sister palette to the Happy Hour one that I already showed you. This came out for holiday, not this past year, but the year before. This is a white and blue duochrome topper shade. A very intense blue. And then another mauve sort of duochrome, kind of mauve and blue duochrome topper shade. This is a very pretty palette and I'm happy to have it in my collection. This is the Blue Realm, sorry, I think it's called the Blue Realm Velvet. Okay, next we have the Tartlet Juicy palette. This is a beautiful neutral palette that is great for beginners. I love the layout. I love the soft pink and the neutral shades. You really can do quite a nice bridal look, I would think, with this palette. And the layout takes the guesswork out of building your story, since it's laid out in quads, rows, columns, all of it makes sense. So those are decent swatches. Those pretty pink shades. And this is a great palette. The Tartlet Juicy palette. I'm very happy to have this in my collection. Next we have the Tartlet in Bloom. This is another neutral palette that is very popular. I think when I used to binge watch collection videos. Every evening I would watch collection videos and fall asleep, as they would just so relaxing to watch people show off their beautiful palettes, and I would see this palette in just about every single one. So I think I finally bought it from Ulta when I was down in the States, a year or so ago, and I'm very happy that I got it. It's just really simple and easy to do a beautiful neutral look with this one. So again, those are decent swatches from Tarte. Nothing revolutionary, but they're decent. And next we have the Tardis Pro. Another beautiful neutral palette. This is one that I haven't used enough or taken out of my collection enough. I really love the depth of this palette. It goes from very light shades here to very deep shades here, and then you've got some interesting shimmers along the edge in the circle pans. That's a neat duochrome. Yeah, those are really pretty shimmers. So those would go well with any of the mattes that we have here. And yeah, this is I think also a great companion palette to have with a colorful palette, because you could do some neutral throughout the crease and then a pop of color on the lid. So this is the Tartlet Tardis Pro. Yeah, just the Tardis Pro. I was thinking about the next one I'm going to show you, which is the Tardis Pro Remix. So next we have the Tardis Pro Remix. This is a beautiful palette. I don't care for the packaging. I think the packaging is very off-putting and jarring to the eyes. I think that they would have done a lot better to put it in something a little bit more luxe, a little bit more sophisticated. This has quite a few shimmer shades in it, and just a handful of mattes, so of course I love it for that. It's got this really pretty light blue, and I really like these shades right in here. This is an excellent champagne shade and an excellent, you know, when I said that I loved shades that were sort of somewhere between a green and a gray. Yeah, and this is kind of an oyster sort of shade. Very, very pretty. These are excellent swatches. This is the Tardis Pro Remix. And next we have Too Faced Gingerbread Palette. This was a holiday release for Too Faced, I think 3 seasons ago. I have not used it nearly enough. I do enjoy the color story, although it is a little bit on the warm side for me. It has a nice mix between shimmers and mattes, and between depth and the contrast between the depth that it goes here and the light here, the lighter shades. So this is a duochrome. That was a very popular shade at the time. Yeah, those are excellent swatches. So you can see the shimmers are quite intense, quite bold. And I've had this for a long time, so it's still in very good working order. Too Faced Gingerbread. Next we have the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes. I don't have a lot to say about this palette. I haven't used it very much. I've had it for quite a long time. I did lust after it until I got it in my possession. And it's just a little bit warm for me. This was kind of before I really realized that I had a strong preference for cool tones. So, I mean, believe it or not, I actually bought the Urban Decay Heat palette, and did a couple of looks with it. I'm like, why don't I like this? So I did declutter that one and give it to my daughter. So this is kind of the same way, where it's a little bit warm for me, but I am not ready yet to give it away, because I still think that, you know, maybe that there's, as I experiment and play around with different looks, I'll be able to use this. And of course it's a great companion palette if you have something that's all shimmer or shimmer heavy, because this is all mattes. Oops. So those mattes felt quite silky and nice. They weren't too dry, and they didn't feel too powdery either. So this is the Just Peachy mattes from Too Faced. Next we have the Too Faced Natural Eyes. So I did have this in the original version with the tin packaging, but I used the heck out of that. That was many years ago. I believe I received this in a BoxyCharm. I don't think I bought it. It's a very nice neutral palette, great for beginners. Those are nice swatches. Very pretty and easy to do a sort of a, this would be a good palette for a no makeup look. The Natural Eyes from Too Faced. Next we have the Natural Matte from Too Faced. So this is an all matte palette. I believe that I did buy this. Again, it would be great for a no makeup look. Very simple and very straightforward. I do enjoy this row here, and I like this and this color. So this is my favorite row, but very neutral. Again, the mattes feel quite silky and go on nicely. Those are nice swatches. So that is the Too Faced Natural Matte palette. And next we have the Too Faced Natural Lust palette. The packaging on this palette is one of my absolute favorite packaging that ever has been done by any brand ever. I love the packaging on this so much. Too Faced first came out with the Natural Love palette, and I missed it on that one, so I was heartbroken. I scoured the globe for a Natural Love palette, and I could not find one anywhere. So when Too Faced announced that they were coming out with this one, I was really pleased. This is everything you could ever want in a neutral palette. It has cool tones, warm tones, pop of blue, pop of pink. And it's just too bad that the shadows don't match what the outside of the package suggests they should, because the swatches are kind of lackluster. I haven't used this palette very often, maybe once or twice. I use it as more of a showpiece display. I would like to get more use out of it, and I think that you could enhance these mattes and these shimmers if they're a little lackluster by pulling in maybe a loose pigment shimmer or something that has some sparkle in it, one and done type of eyeshadow pot or something like that. Anyways, this is the Too Faced Natural Lust palette, and isn't that just gorgeous? And next we have the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette. This is another beautiful palette from Too Faced. I won this in a giveaway from Beauty by Anna Chris, and it came from all the way from Europe, and I missed out on it when it was at Sephora, and Too Faced didn't used to ship to Canada, although I do believe that they have a Canadian website now. So the only place I could get it from was called Beauty, but they don't ship to Canada. So when I won the giveaway and Anna Chris said that I could choose some things to purchase from any place where she could access, I picked this. And it is very pretty. Oh my gourd. Oops, sorry, that's Fall Vibes. Oh my gourd. Crisp. Want a piece of me. That's a pretty swatch. Ooh, I love that pink. Very, very pretty. So, this gives me fall vibes for sure, so I will be pulling it out come September, and I will try to use the heck out of it. Too Faced Pumpkin Spice. Next we have the Too Faced Razzle Dazzle Berry. I lusted after this palette for so long, and I finally got it from Ulta when I was visiting in the States. And the reason why I lusted after it for so long was I used to watch Paulina use it from Paulina Beauty, and she would use this shade right here, and I just always oohed and awed over it because I thought it was so beautiful, so pretty. It feels very creamy and very nice to swatch. These two didn't feel as creamy as this one did. But yes, I basically bought this just for this shadow right here. The Too Faced Razzle Dazzle Berry, and it smells delicious. Next we have this tiny little palette from Too Faced called Shake Your Pom Poms. I believe I bought this at Ulta in the States. I don't remember why I bought it. I think it was just there and I didn't have it, and I decided I needed it. That's a good swatch. So yeah, those are pretty colors. This would be nice for like summer, I think. You could do, it would look good with a tanned face and some, you know, bronzy makeup. It's really pretty. Now prepare yourself to be amazed, because you are about to see the oldest palette in my collection, and the only palette in which I do have pan. So you can see that I have pan in this particular shade here called Peaches and Cream. So I bought this early on. When I first started watching YouTube, it was on everyone's channel, everyone was talking about it, and I went out and bought it, and that was in 2017, summer, and I still love it. I don't use it very often. I have had to use Scotch tape to correct hard pan in it, which was disappointing for me. So those swatches are okay. Nothing earth-shattering. This one is pretty nice. That's from the shade there called Luscious. I have a pretty good dent in that one, but yeah, I'm pretty proud of this little pan here in Peaches and Cream. And this is the palette Sweet Peach. I can still smell the peach scent. It smells so nice. Okay, quickly heading back to the S's, I forgot to show this one. This is Storybook Cosmetics. This one is the little Briar Rose palette. This is what it looks like. I have never used this. I don't even think I have swatched it. I got this in BoxyCharm ages ago. Oh, that's a pretty blue. Sorry about that. I reached the end of my recording time. Stupid camera. I don't know why it only will record for 30 minutes and then it shuts off. Those are really good swatches, actually. Yeah, I've never used this palette before. I don't have an opinion at all on the quality, but it's very pretty and I'm impressed with those swatches, actually. Whoops, that's not where they are. Here is where they are. Those are really pretty, actually. Did I already say that? Yes, more than once. Anyhow, this is a really pretty palette. I display it on a shelf. It looks like a book, which is cool. And yeah, I'm happy to have it. As I was grabbing the Too Faced palettes, I noticed this one that I obviously overlooked either when I was reading my spreadsheet or I don't have it in my spreadsheet, so I'm gonna have to check that out. This came from BoxyCharm. It came with illuminating an illuminating serum / primer for a ridiculous amount of money. I can't remember what the sheet said this was worth, but I didn't believe it. Anyhow, so these are some metallic shades. Those three all look exactly the same. That's fun. Then this one is a little bit more gold. So I have to try this on the eyes, and maybe we'll put it in my next Shop My Stash and see how it goes as a companion palette to something else. This is called the Kypress palette. Kypress Shimmer Palette. Active illumination for eyes and body. I don't like illuminating primers because I have textured skin and I just find that anything that's too dewy on my face just enhances the texture. So I gave the serum that came with this to Kennedy. Next we have the Urban Decay Born to Run. I was so happy when I first got this palette, but I haven't used it a lot. It is a little bit on the warm side. I do appreciate this side of it, of course, more than I do this side of it. But still, it is a very pretty palette. It was a big hit for Urban Decay. I've seen this in a lot of people's collections. Most people are all about this shade here called Big Sky. There's this blue called Radio, green called Wanderlust, and let's do Drift. So those are good quality swatches, but they're not great. I don't ooh and ah. I have toyed with decluttering this, but I'm just not ready to declutter it yet. So it is what it is. Urban Decay Born to Run. I have gotten some pretty good use out of this, I will say. More than some of the other palettes I have. Born to Run. I have had it for a long time too. Next we have the Naked Reloaded palette. I am all about this packaging. I think it is so pretty. I love the cloth. It is just luxe. And I keep this in the box so I don't get it dirty. So when this first came out, people compared it to ABH's Sultry palette, and it does have some similarities. I have hardly used this. I don't really have an opinion on the quality of it. Let's do some swatching. This was just because purchase. I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I wanted it, but I bought it when I was more into collecting colorful palettes. So I didn't really get around to using it, and then since then I've just had too many other new palettes to use. Those are decent swatches. This one's pretty. So I have got to get around to using this. It is always there at the back of my mind, thinking, gotta use that Naked Reloaded palette, Naomi. This was another one that I had to have when I saw the packaging. Urban Decay Elements palette. This one is absolutely beautiful. The first one I bought came to me smashed. So Urban Decay replaced it, which I was very happy about. I just love the layout of this. I think it's so original. And after, owning it for 3 years, 2.5 years, however long it's been, those swatches are still looking pretty good. So this is the Urban Decay Elements palette. And I display it on a shelf all by itself, where you can see it in all its beauty. Next we have the Naked Wild West palette. I recently did a look on my channel with this. It is a beautiful palette. I really appreciate the cooler tones in here. I appreciate how it goes from light to deep. And not too crazy about these 3 colors here, but I haven't used them on the eyes, so I don't know how they look. Let's swatch, shall we? I did really like this dark teal. And this one is pretty. I like these shiny silvery taupe shades very much. This is a pretty swatch as well. So yeah, this is a really pretty palette. I think it's very versatile. You can take this in a lot of different looks. A lot of different directions. The Naked Wild West. Next we have Urban Decay Party Favor. This is a palette of their Moon Dust shadows. Ooh, one is cracked. Can you see that? Gotta be careful with this. So this is basically an all shimmer palette that you can use to supplement any, it just adds sparkle to any look that you want. Sparkle, sparkle. Similar to the Kypress palette I showed you. This one is really pretty. These are very, very dimensional shades. A lot of sparkle in there. I missed out on the original Moon Dust palette. I'm sad I don't have it. Party Favor. Next we have the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette. This is one that I bought when it first came out. I was really excited to get it. It has 4 matte shades, and then it has 8 of these sort of special shimmer shades. So they don't look like much in the pan, but to put them on the eyes, they really are quite pretty. Like in the pan, they just don't look like they're going to be so reflective. But that blue is gorgeous. So I need to get more use out of this palette. See, I just see these palettes I have in my collection. I'm like, I kind of forgot I had that. It's so beautiful. So that is and the packaging, oh my God. Urban Decay does such great packaging. Urban Decay Stoned Vibes. And of course, I couldn't buy the big one without buying the little one. So here's the baby Stoned Vibes. So we've got 3 shimmers and 3 mattes. So that's a very good companion palette to the larger size Stone Vibes. So those are really pretty. So next we have another palette that I'm very proud of. This is the Game of Thrones palette by Urban Decay. I'm a big fan. I'm a bigger fan of the books than I am of the television series. I read the books a long, long time ago, and I'm eager for the next book to come out, but I don't think it ever will. This is really cool packaging there. We have the Iron Throne. Then the eyeshadows slide out from the side. I've swatched this a little bit, but not a lot. So here we have, there's 5 shadows in each section, and each section represents, so this is North of the Wall, this is Winterfell, this is King's Landing, and this is the Bay of Dragons. So I think that they did a good job with this palette to kind of represent that is a beautiful gold, to represent the television series. It's a great silver as well, very pretty. I've never used this on the eyes. I've only ever stared at it. Can you blame me? Not really. Very pretty. Next we have the Violet Voss Cool Vibes. This is a cool tone neutral palette, and I love how deep it is. I do appreciate these extra large pans as well. I think they're fun. That's a great color. Like a very dark brown, almost black. This one is very rich as well. These two are pretty, but not quite as intense as these two are. Still, this is my Shop My Stash, and I'm planning on doing a look with it in the coming week, so stay tuned for that. Next we have the Flamingo palette from Violet Voss. This is a very fun summer palette. Hoping to get some really pretty looks out of it this summer. I haven't used it very much. I would have liked to have used it more, but there's no time like the present. And it has some really beautiful colors in it. Love the blue. Really, really pretty. This is the Flamingo palette from Violet Voss. Next we have Violet Voss's palette called Forget Me Not. I have not used it. I have not swatched it. This is a very pretty palette. I'm not sure what these two shadows are doing here, but otherwise I love these greens. They're greeny aqua colors, and the blues are very pretty. Oh, that makes my heart happy. Ooh, so pretty. Yep, that's beautiful. I could just stop now and be happy forever, looking at those beautiful swatches on my hand. This is the Forget Me Not palette from Violet Voss. This is the Viseart palette called Neutral Mattes. I have never used this. I have never swatched it. Kind of reminds me of the Peachy Just mattes, but obviously not not the same colors, but just the look of it, I suppose. I don't know if that made any sense, but ooh, that's nice. I've heard really good things about the Viseart formula. And those mattes felt very silky. Very soft and buttery. The neutral mattes, I got that in a boxy charm. And next we have the Viseart Paris Edit. And that's what it looks like. It's a very soft, romantic palette. I think very good for bridal makeup. I really want to get the Vizier Grand Pro 2, the one with all of the shimmers in it. This is beautiful. That's beautiful. These are nice. I can't remember who it was that I saw do a look with this that made me think, oh, I need to have that. But it is very pretty. And it's so cute and little. And the very last, we have the Zoeva Blanc Fusion. I got this in a boxy charm. I wished I would have gotten a different one, but this is the one I got. I'm happy with the bottom row. I don't like the top row. So yeah, those aren't bad swatches. They're okay. It's not a bad palette. I haven't used it a lot. I was using it quite a bit for the neutral colors down here. You know, it's a handy palette to have to work when you have something that's heavy, shimmer heavy, and then you can use the mattes in here to supplement a shimmer heavy palette. So yeah, this is the Zoeva Blanc Fusion. All right, if you've made it this far, you have seen 218 palettes, give or take, on my channel in 5 parts. I will say goodbye to you now if you are leaving, but if you would like to see my Jeffree Star palettes, then I will continue with those. For those of you who are leaving, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. For those of you who are staying, then let's move on to Jeffree Star. So of course, you guessed it, I have the Blue Blood palette from Jeffree Star. She is a beauty. I bought it at launch. I had to have it. It is a beauty. I was thrilled when he announced it. This one went on beautifully. It felt just so smooth. These two are very similar. Did I swatch the same shade? Maybe. That wouldn't surprise me. After looking at so many palettes, my head's going, what is happening? Those are beautiful swatches. This is a beautiful palette. I need to use it more often. And next we have the Cremation Palette. This I was also very happy about when he announced because I love these cool tones. I like the packaging. There was a lot of controversy about the name because this was released shortly after the pandemic started and people felt that the name was insensitive. So there's that. I did buy it at launch and I'm happy to have it. This is such a beautiful shade. It's so reflective. So yeah, I can make smoky looks all day long with this beautiful palette. And lastly, one I'm sure you're surprised that I have is the Blood Sugar palette. I had to see what all the fuss was about. So this is the Blood Sugar palette. It is not my favorite. I have hardly used it, but I did want to buy it. I bought it with the Thirsty palette. I decluttered the Thirsty palette and gave it to my daughter. These shadows do feel quite buttery. It's mostly mattes. That's pretty. This one's nice, and that's a really soft pink. So not bad. This, I think, did really well for Jeffree Star. A lot of people bought it. It is a very popular palette. Oops, I closed the clasps and I didn't even close it properly. That's the Blood Sugar palette. And that's it. That is all of my eyeshadow palettes, I think. I think we've gone through all of them. According to my spreadsheet, we have, hopefully I didn't miss any because that means that they didn't get put into my spreadsheet. Oops. I did order the Urban Decay X Prince palette, Let's Go Crazy. That's the one with the blues in it. So I'm excited to get that. I should get that in the next couple of days. We're planning to do a video with it soon. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all of my new subscribers who found me through these collection videos. I sure appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you'll stick around for some more content. Time is our most precious resource, and when you spend a little bit of your precious time with me, I really appreciate it. I hope wherever in the world you are, that you're well, that you're healthy, that you're happy. I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Activate the notification bell so you're aware of my uploads. Comment down below. I love reading your comments, and maybe a thumbs up for me. And that's it for me for today. Take care. Bye-bye.